welcome to
Lake Michigan!
We're on a Midwest Coast road trip at the moment. Hopefully you've seen our Detroit City Guide, which is the guide to the main hub of the state.
But what do you do and where do you go after being in the city for a few days? We're going to show you where you can go on a North Michigan road trip. Let's go!
Hey guys, wait for me!
Michigan is in the heart of the USA's Great Lakes. In fact, you could say it has a hand in them all because it looks like a mitten. Detroit is the biggest city in the state, but there is so much more to explore if you're willing to jump in the car for a few hours. Where else would you get to step back in time to an island where cars are outlawed, hunt for dinosaur fossils, cross a rope bridge in the mountains, find mushroom houses, and speed down massive sand dunes? This is where people from the state vacation, but after visiting, we think it's worthy of a trip from anywhere in the world.
This area really was about coming to unwind and relax and refresh and rejuvenate. And, you know, certainly you will find air no cleaner, water no cleaner than anywhere else, and just unlimited beauty.
Come on a road trip with us so you can see what there is to experience. We left Detroit at 2 p.m. The landscape just kept changing and changing the further north we went, and soon we realised we were among the mountains and the lakes. It was a 4-hour drive to our first stop, Traverse City. We headed straight to the tip of the bay to see the old Mission Lighthouse before sunset. It's been decommissioned for nearly 100 years, but it still gives you a peek of what life was like here at the turn of the century. If you get there early enough, you can take a self-guided tour and go up the tower.
Can you imagine actually living here? Okay, being a lighthouse keeper is quite cool in itself, but then the view that you would get and be able to just walk down here every day.
Well, you can actually do it. You can pay to be a volunteer lighthouse keeper for a week or 2. The kids really don't care whether they're dressed for the beach or not, do they? They just want a taste of lake life straight away.
We've got to go out to dinner after this.
Traverse City is known as the cherry capital of the world.
Loads of cherries.
We drove back through the orchards and vineyards back to town and went for dinner at the oldest restaurant in Michigan. Sledder's is an old saloon with the original cash register and literally has some skeletons hiding in the closets.
He didn't pay his bar tab that year.
We were also told we had to go and smooch a moose.
You just kissed it, I would smooch it.
What's the difference?
He's good.
We still have no idea why we had to do it, but we're up for it. Traverse City feels like a fun vacation town with bars and live music everywhere.
When I'm old, I want to be a what's
There are loads of lodgings to choose from. You could camp, rent, or stay in a place like Hotel Indigo. Here we had a lake view from our suite. And possibly the biggest shower I've ever seen. There are loads of places to visit in and around Traverse City. The village at Grand Traverse Commons is an old asylum where you can get therapy of the retail kind today. The corridors and nooks are packed with boutique shops, top restaurants and coffee houses. You're certain to find that one of a kind here. Next on the list, you have to go to Sleeping Bear Dunes, which is around half an hour away. Buy your pass from the visitor centre at Empire and head straight to the Pierce Stocking Scenic Drive. This is a great way to get to know the area. The forest is beautiful enough in itself, but stop at the scenic lookouts to get even closer to Lake Michigan and the dunes. And the views just keep getting bigger and better.
It's so pretty. It's so blue.
It's here you realise the magnitude of these natural dunes. They're just as steep as they are pretty. In fact, one sign warns against going down here because you'll need a helicopter rescue to get back up again.
It really is hard to believe that that is not an ocean or a sea, it's just a lake. It is that big.
Luckily, just a few minutes away, there's a dune that you can climb up safely. Or, in our case, run, fall, and slide up and down. I'll have to admit, I didn't have running down sand dunes next to Lake Michigan on my bucket list. But this was a really special moment for us all. It was a good reminder of how big nature is and how small we are. It's also something I thought we'd have to travel to the Sahara to do. While you're up this way, make sure you pop over to Leland. This is a charming fishing village which has been locked in time. It's only half an hour away and feels like you're on the set of a Pirates of the Caribbean movie with the shanty-style buildings and the canal. It's also known as Fishtown, and I can't think of a better name. There's lots of local art to see and places to eat, but you'll just enjoy wandering around, browsing the shops, and taking in all of the unique sights here. On your way back to Traverse City, stop off at a winery. There are around 40 in the region. They all have great tasting menus for the adults and the kids.
Now it's our turn for wine / sparkling raspberry juice. Cheers! Cheers!
Now, we did mention cherries already, but we need to talk about them a bit more, because Traverse City is the world's largest producer of the fruit. There's a cherry festival here every July, plus you'll see the crop in local restaurants. But nothing showcases the versatility of this sweet, dark fruit than Cherry Republic.
This place doesn't have just like cherry pie or cherry sweets or cherry jam. Cherry horseradish. Who knew that you needed this in your life? I do need it in my life. That's good.
Well, definitely saying cherry salsa.
Even the drinks are all cherry. Cherry, 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 cherry. Wow, a lot of cherries.
Sir, try one. How many of those have you got?
It's my first. It's so good. Let's take 2 for the road.
Of course you find Daddy by the sweets.
I've gone cherry red.
There's lots going on in Traverse City, from lively bars and breweries to a cool street food area called Little Fleet. We happen to be here for its 10th anniversary party, so don't expect this many people here or face painting when you visit. It was great to sit and chat with the locals and have some great food and listen to some music. Let's finish this video here and move away from Traverse City and do a little road trip to show you where else you need to explore on Lake Michigan.